Morning, everybody. I'm here with Debbie Portell, owner of Integrity Training Systems. We've been talking a lot about the ketogenic lifestyle here lately, and a lot of people on and off keto have started to use different types of coffee, putting different ingredients in their coffee. It's supposed to help them with energy. And Deb, I see you got a lot of stuff in front of you here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about not only what you're about to make, but why you make it the way you do?
Well, I'm about to make my morning coffee, which I have every morning when I first wake up. If you've watched previous videos or listened to the radio show, I do what's called an intermittent fasting style diet. So I don't have my first meal until 11 or 12 o'clock every day. And so this produces some sustainability as I go through that fasting period. And I even give this to clients that are not doing intermittent fasting because it's a great way to kind of stay sustained throughout your meals. It's also a good way for someone, like example of John, that still needs to put more weight on, that he can get his calories in while drinking all throughout the day. So what I'm doing is I'm adding fatty acids to my coffee and making it taste great to where I feel like I'm getting a Starbucks latte minus, all of the things that I really can't have on keto. So I'm dairy free, so I always use things like coconut oil or coconut butter. There are some folks that use grass-fed butter, and that's completely doable. Also, grass-fed ghee is completely doable. But I normally recommend when someone first start a ketogenic diet that they stay away from dairy for at least 30 days, if not 45 to 60 days. And then as you bring the dairy back in, you'll be able to see how your body was truly responding to it. Dairy is one of the highest, it is the highest histamine producing food you can consume. The highest. That means there's no other food that's going to produce a histamine response higher, which seems strange because you would think that peanuts or shellfish would be higher, considering most people have to take an EpiPen for that reason. But dairy is actually higher. So I always recommend skipping dairy for a minimum of 30 days to see how your body responds and then pull it back in. So what I do is I wake up, have this coffee, and then I go and do my fasted cardio. After that fasted cardio, I make another coffee or I make a tea, and then I carry that. That carries me all the way through to that first meal around noon. Now, sometimes in the afternoon, I will make another one of these coffees, and that's just to kind of produce more sustainability to get through to the evening. And I will add the collagen protein to that coffee. So I will blend all this up as I'm going to show you, and I'll add 2 scoops of this collagen protein, which will be 18 grams of protein in with it, plus I would get my fat. The collagen protein is wonderful because it's the same benefits as if you're having bone broth, but it's not the taste of bone broth. So there's actually literally no taste to this collagen protein, and it's fantastic for your skin, fantastic for your immune system, for your gut. There's a list this long on our website of the positives of having collagen protein. I don't do that in the morning because I'm not really looking to break my fast. So I make a 12-ounce cup of coffee just over here, in my little, Keurig coffee pot. If you brew your coffee, that's perfectly fine too. I just put it in a miniature blender. We have one of these at the gym also. I have a huge full-size blender that I used to use that had a glass container, but I just started using this because I started traveling, and this is just so much smaller. It's just easier. So with the cup of coffee, I start by, and I have my measuring spoons here. I have them all the time. This is how I know what I'm doing. So the easiest thing, buy a couple sets of measuring spoons. You'll always know what you're doing. Leave them in your drawer that you're going to have your stuff in there. So just the regular coconut oil. This is what you cook your eggs with. I'm going to take a half a teaspoon of that coconut oil, and I'm just going to drop it inside the coffee. And then I'm going to go to coconut butter. You do not have to do the coconut butter. I like to have a little bit of a taste to it. You could do the full tablespoon of the coconut oil, and you could add your own cocoa powder to it or your own vanilla to it, whatever your flavor preference is. I do the My Coconut Kitchen coconut butter because it's already done for me. So I basically This is really the only flavor that I normally have, but I basically just add a full tablespoon of this coconut butter. This is coconut puree. So My Coconut Kitchen is a local company, and what they've done is they've just taken coconut puree and they've added natural flavoring to it. So it just has raw cocoa powder and raw stevia in it. So there's absolutely nothing that you can't have inside this coconut butter. She has other flavors like roasty toasty, which I feel like kind of tastes like a roasted marshmallow. She has a pumpkin spice flavor, which is awesome during the holiday times to be able to have that. She has a mint flavor, an espresso mocha flavor. So mycoconutkitchen.com, or you can go to our Integrity location in Winghaven or any of the Pure Plates locations, and they sell that My Coconut Kitchen product. And there's 100 things you can do with it, but this is what I primarily do with it. So I put that coconut butter in there, put that coconut oil in there. Now I have organic raw stevia. We sell the Now Foods brand at the gym. This is one that I ordered off of Amazon, and you use so little of this that I feel like I may have this for the rest of my life. So that's why I'm not using the one that we have at the gym, because you just use so little, it lasts so long. It's relatively expensive, but again, it's pure stevia. So you look at the back, it genuinely says 100% organic stevia. That's all it says. So right now I have a one quarter teaspoon, and I mean, that's about all I'm going to do. I don't need any more stevia than that. If I do any more stevia than that, it won't taste good. It will taste bitter at that point. So we started with coffee, a little bit of coconut oil, a little bit more of the coconut butter, tablespoon here and about a teaspoon here. And all I'm going to do is just blend this up. So I used to always have to have half and half. Stevia. I always had to have some form of cream in my coffee. And what I was finding was having dairy was messing with my estrogen levels. I was having troubles with my cycles on a regular basis, where I would keep cycling. I would have a couple cycles a month because I kept dairy in, even if it was organic dairy. When I cut out the dairy, I stopped having hormonal issues. I cut it out completely. If you look at this coffee after I blend it, it looks as if I've added half and half to it. So I'm going to blend this, and I try to blend it for about 15 seconds because you want that coconut puree to really get blended. Always hold your hand on the top because it's hot liquid. And then you just pour it in your cup of coffee. If you like it warmer, I kind of like a hot cup of coffee. So what I do is after I take it out of the Keurig, I put it in the microwave it for 30 seconds, and then I make it. But I just want to show you the color of this coffee. It truly feels like you've had, a latte with cream, and then it has chocolate in it. It has that cocoa powder in it. So it tastes as if, you've had something chocolatey as well. It's great for after dinner. If you're experiencing hunger, this is a good way to get and bridge a gap. If you don't have a blender, you can take this oil, put it in your coffee, a little bit of stevia, it will melt. It won't melt as good. It won't have the same coloring, but it still works and you'll still stay sustained from it. This is an easy way to be able to get your fatty acids in and to feel great all throughout the day. And remember, in the afternoon, to add more calories to it and to get some protein in, add that collagen protein into it. The reason I have the tea bags out here is because you can make a chai tea latte. Just brew your tea, okay, just steep your tea, and then take the liquid of the tea, put it in here, put just the coconut oil in there, or put the roasty, toasty coconut butter in there, and then get into your spice cabinet and get nutmeg, get cinnamon, get pumpkin pie spice, and blend yourself your own chai tea latte. Otherwise, when I make tea, I just steep the tea, put a little coconut oil, let it melt with some stevia, and that's it. And this is what helps me to really continue to have that energy throughout the day. So I'm going to drink mine now, and I'm going to go do my fasted cardio, and then I'm going to come back in here, and I'll probably make a cup of tea, and that will get me by. Now, on my days that I fast all day, so I have 1 to 2 days a week, every week, that I fast all day long. On those days, I will have those 2 coffees, and then later in the evening, I will have another one. Maybe around 3 or 4 o'clock, I'll have another one of these. But I do typically have bone broth throughout the day. And then at the end of my day on those fasting days, I have a vegetarian meal. So just a big, large serving of vegetables with some oil on top of it. But this is just for an intermittent fasting day, which is what I do pretty much every day, other than those full fasting days. I hope that you've enjoyed the information.